Hey everyone, and it's about quarter to midnight right now. Obviously, I don't sleep very well. Um, I was just brainstorming something, and I remember seeing something on YouTube a while back. Something about a all-region game, why they can't make it. Or why it wouldn't make sense to make one. This is kind of just something I was spitballing, and figure, what the hell, why not write it down and make a video about it and see what people think. Pretty much, obviously, when you start the game, you would start out in Kanto, work your way through Johto, Hoenn, so on and so forth. But in order to make it playable where people actually get the sense of the accomplishment and everything, and being able to use the Pokemon that are specific to that region, and just that region. Like Johto, it has Kanto and Johto Pokemon. As I know, as far as the Johto games go, you can't really catch a Houndour unless you go into the Kanto region. So what I'm thinking is that, make it where all the Pokemon for that region, or that came out with that generation that's attached to that region, actually are able to be caught in that region. Sorry if that makes no sense, sorry if I'm confusing y'all, but, just me spitballing here for the last 20-30 minutes, I came up with some ideas, so, Nintendo, Pokemon, I know y'all probably aren't watching this, but, I hope y'all do, because it could be something that a lot of Pokemon fans are waiting for, as far as, like, the game series goes and everything. Pretty much, my idea is kind of do something like Pokemon Go, but where you could do it on, like, a laptop or something. Obviously, make it a ROM or actual game disc or something. It's something that, make it easier on everybody. Obviously, for it, you must include all the regions. That's an obvious. If you're wanting to do an all-regional game for Pokemon, you have to have all the regions. Also, instead of just, doing a max level of 100, because once you go through one region, you're pretty much going to be roughly about halfway or over, right anywhere between 45 to 55% of the way to that max level. I was thinking maybe raising it from 100 to anywhere between level 300 and 400. Obviously, when you're going up that high, you have to be able to make sure that the Pokemon can still learn new moves. Honestly, I think this would probably be the chance where a Pokemon that really can't learn a move, or shouldn't be able to learn a move, doing that, when it comes down to it, like if you find a Pokemon that you really want to try a move on, have it be able to be taught that TM. And obviously, back to where I was saying, the Pokemon have just the Pokemon from those regions or generations, or regions that are attached to those generations, caught just in that region. I honestly think that, like, say, like Gen 1, for instance, you could not legitimately catch a Mew. You had to glitch your way to it. I was thinking, find a way, do it something where it's extremely hidden, but still able to get to it, where you can actually go and catch the Mew legitimately in the game. Obviously, now with Pokebank out and everything, be able to have that on there, be able to have that thrown on there and everything. Also, all starters can be obtained. That's what I liked about Pokemon Yellow. You could actually sit there and you start off with a Pikachu. Then later on, after the first gym, you can definitely obtain the Charmander. after the second gym, you can obtain, well, after Brock, you can obtain the Charmander above Cerulean City. And this, after you beat Misty, you can go and get a Bulbasaur right there in Cerulean City. And then after you beat Lieutenant Surge in Vermilion City, I think it is, you can actually go and talk to Officer Jenny and get a Squirtle. Instead of having them given to the player like that, I was thinking have them be able to be out to be caught. Also being able to look at it, you know. Also, you're also gonna have to find a way to get to each different region, obviously. So you're gonna have to have a mode of transportation to do that. Obviously, having just the boats or whatever, you know, that's gonna be kind of tiring. Between Johto and Kanto, that is honestly understandable. Getting to Hoenn, well, they have a port city. They have 2 ports there too, so in the game. So have a boat going there. Sinnoh, I didn't really see any boats there, but I saw something like actually, yeah, there was a port city there. So going there by port. Unova has the ports, so there's that. But, you know, in the original games, as far as the remakes of Black and White, you know, they do have an airstrip there. So I think, honestly, going from Sinnoh to Unova, I think that would kind of honestly be something that would be a player choice. Whether they want to fly there or be able to go on boat there. That being up to the player, obviously. So in the Sinnoh region, you'd have to add an area in there for that in order for that optional area to be able to fly from Sinnoh to Unova. Obviously, as far as Gen 6 goes, X and Y, they have a train. So in Unova, I honestly think it'd be nice to add a train station in there somewhere like, no wait, did I miss one? I don't know, whatever the region is for Gen 5. Add a train station in there to get from there over to the other region, which is Gen 6. I'm sorry, my brain is fried. I very rarely don't know what the hell I'm talking about, so sorry, excuse my language too. And then going from Gen 6 over to the Gen 7 region, which is Alola, go back to the boats and everything, but you'd have to add a port city in there to the main island to be able to do that. Now, also, when you go to the new regions by ports or by plane or train or whatever, you're obviously going to have a way to get from that port city or whatever to the first town in that series, so you can start your so you can get your starter Pokemon for that region. Obviously, I'm not saying keep the difficulty of each of the gems where it's at for each, like after Kanto, increase the level of the difficulty up by the same percentage as you did with each gym in Kanto, and so on and so forth with each of the other gyms. I mean, obviously you're gonna have to do that. That's the reason why I say raise the max level from 100 to anywhere between 300 and 400. It'll make it a lot easier. You'll still have the sense of achievement, and you'll still be able to level up fairly consistently. Also, one thing I would like to see done. Sorry about that. I was getting comfortable again. I would say include at least one of the fan games, and it's not one of the fan games that actually it has a region from the anime or in one of the games, which obviously knocks out Pokemon Ash version. So, I was kind of thinking more or less like Pokemon Uranium. You know, Pokemon did take Uranium out or down, so maybe add that in there between, like, say, between Hoenn and Sinnoh. Because if you actually think about it, it would make more sense. The beginning of it could be, the reason why I'm saying it would make sense there is, say, alright, in the Hoenn region, Ruby, Emerald, and Sapphire. Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, however you want to say it. They had Groudon and Kyogre going at it in Sootopolis City. And then Rayquaza came in and stopped the fighting. Have that region that Pokemon Uranium was in. Sorry, I did not do too much studying up on it or whatever. I would say put that region as a region you would go to in between Hoenn and Sinnoh, because then you can actually state that the battle between Groudon and Kyogre got so bad that the neighboring region's nuclear plant the reactor actually failed, and it started leaking the nuclear waste, and Rayquaza came in and stopped it before it got too bad. You could add that into the storyline with Uranium if you were to put that one into that all-regional game. Because then what that does is then that gives a player a break from the actual Pokemon series and be able to do a fan game in with that, or a fan region in with that. Also then afterwards with Sinnoh, you can go and state, you know, yeah, because of the nuclear waste, say Team Galactic had a hand in it, and they wanted to happen to do that. And since that failed, now their plans are being rushed into doing that, getting the legendary Pokemon that they want to go and do that. Makes more sense that way. And so on and so forth. And also try and get it playable on a device, whether it be a cell phone, computer, or even a gaming system. You know, that would actually be something that could actually be done. Because if you actually think about it, most phones nowadays are smartphones, making it easier for people to be able to, you know, play games and play the ROMs and stuff on their phone. I know y'all don't like that, but it's something that's happening, you know. Obviously, if you do it for like a laptop or a computer, which is either a laptop or a desktop, have it either as a downloadable ROM or as an actual disc game. If you do it as a disc game, then you can easily make it done for, say, Xbox or PlayStation, just to make it easier. You know, and the reason why I state that is that discs for those games can hold a lot of memory, a lot of data. Some of the wants I would like to see in there would be, you know, like I was saying before, you know, have the fan game regions as an intermittent between one of them, or between two of the regions. That's what I was saying about, like, you know, Pokemon Uranium. Automatically get once when you get one over all this. Yeah, so also if Pokemon, if you're gonna do this, the sooner you do it, the better. Also, one thing I would like to see in the games is that something that you don't have in any of the other games, the ability to IV check in the game, not EV, IV, individual values of the Pokemon. So then that way, when a player catches a Pokemon before they transfer to their box or keep it in their party, give them the option to be able to IV check it. It'd make a lot more sense. It'd make things a lot easier. Also, like I was saying, you know, earlier, like, when you raise the max level where they can learn different moves or something that they normally wouldn't be able to, either by TM or whatnot, you know, be able to give that chance for, you know, to try different movesets on it, and if they don't like it and they go to the move deleter for that region or whatever, they can actually delete that move, and the move that they deleted for it comes back. Yeah, that's just up to y'all. Alright, that's just my ideas for an all-regional game.